Hey, true crime fans, welcome back to another episode of Hey, True Crime. I'm your host, Dakota. With me, as always, is the lovely Kate.
That's me.
That is her. And tonight, we are going to be talking about Beverly Allitt. Now, Beverly Allitt is what is known as I don't want to say angel of death, even though it kind of seems that way. So the angel of death sort of comes around from hospital workers being the ones who are killing people. Usually it's people who are suffering, but with Beverly's case, it wasn't really people who were suffering. So what's going on there, Kate? You all right?
Yeah?
You're like looking around for something. What?
Oh, I was just trying to get my cords set up because they were like on my wine glass, and I was like, that's a bad setup.
Yeah, that's probably not the best. Yeah, no, it was. It looked like you were looking around for something. I was like, what's going on here? You good?
Yeah, no, I was just trying to figure out like where to hang my cord. Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, anyways, like I was saying, angels of death are usually considered to be, people who are like trying to help the suffering out in hospitals, but Beverly wasn't helping the suffering. Beverly was really only helping herself. This is going to be a case of Munchausen's disease. But unfortunately, it's not Munchausen's by proxy, in which, well, it doesn't start out as Munchausen by proxy. It starts out as just straight Munchausen disease. And unfortunately, it turns into Munchausen by proxy by the way of Beverly being an actual nurse at this hospital. Yeah.
Yikes.
So this is
That's
going to be
bad combination.
Yeah, it really is. So this is going to be a tough episode. This is going to deal with, unfortunately, children being the victims. So if you have sensitivity to that, please let us know. And started with Beverly Allitt, I really don't want to call her an angel of death, but that's what the media calls her. So Beverly Allitt, the angel of death.
Well, hey, we can make the executive decision to not keep that going. We don't have to call her that.
We can. That is true. But let's get into it with Beverly Allitt. So Beverly Allitt, who, like we said, is also known as the Angel of Death, which is actually kind of funny because there's a couple of angels of death in England, as it turns out. There's Beverly, but then there's also Harold Shipman was called an angel of death, and Harold Shipman had way more impressive numbers than Beverly ever did. Let me just say.
Oh, really? Uh-oh.
Harold Shipman killed over 100 people.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, we'll do an episode about him one of these days. But Beverly Allitt, also known as the Angel of Death, is one of Britain's more notorious female serial killers. In 1991, nurse Beverly Allitt claimed her first victim, 7-month-old Liam Taylor. Her next victim was Timothy Hardwick, an 11-year-old with cerebral palsy, and no suspicions were aroused at first as she continued her spree of violence unchecked. In total, she claimed 4 young lives and attempted the murder of 9 other victims. Suspicions were raised when records revealed missing nursing logs. But before we get into all of that with the missing logs and everything, we'll talk a little bit about Beverly's beginnings.
Before we do that, before we really get into it, I just want to ask, are either of us glitching? Because things are glitchy on my end, but I don't know. Like, am I like jumping in and out for you?
No, it's fine for me.
Okay. I'm going to try resetting my Wi-Fi really quick because it's real bad on my end. So give me just 1 second.
All right. Well, while Kate is dealing with that, this is a good time to remind everyone to check out my new Facebook page, Chardonnay Network. So the Chardonnay Podcast Network is a network that I have created to sort of promote other podcasts and to sort of bring them together under an umbrella of this is the place where you can find interesting things. You can find my podcast, mine and Kate's podcast, Chardonnay True Crime. You can find our podcast, Geeks, Freaks, and Beaks, where we talk about geek culture. We talk about a lot of stuff. We talk about geek culture. We talk about pop news. We talk about sideshow stuff. We talk about birds a little bit. It's weird. It's fun. It is not as structured as this show, but there's also a really great podcast on there that is all about food. If you guys are interested in food podcasts, you got to check out Fork This Podcast. They've done 3 episodes so far, and they upload every Saturday. My favorite episode so far has been coffee, but I did like the potato episode too. So they've done an episode on coffee, they've done an episode on potatoes, and they've done an episode on tortillas, which is really interesting. I'm really looking forward to that one. But like I said, you need to check out our network. It is our Facebook page. Let me just throw it up here on the bottom of the screen. All right, so you can find it on Facebook, facebook.com/Chardonnay Network. You can find our page there. It's really great. It is really interesting. We are trying to promote as many podcasts as we can. We have another podcast that'll be joining the network soon, and that one is going to be about the life of performers, be that actors, musicians, sideshow performers, scare actors, all that. It's going to be really, really interesting, but that is where you can find that. Just facebook.com/Chardonnay Network. And let's see if Kate is ready to join us again. How is that, Kate?
It's a little bit better. It's not as bad as it was. Like, it's audio is still just a little robot-y, but it's significantly better.
Well, that's going to have to do for tonight.
Yep.
So anyways, Beverly Allitt was born on October 4th, 1968 in the village of Corby Glen in the countryside of Lincolnshire. It's described as a small community of people who all know each other and who all know each other's business. Beverly was the second oldest of 4 children and was described from a very early age as an attention seeker, always doing things to be noticed, including wearing bandages and casts over wounds that she would use to draw attention to herself without actually allowing the injuries to be examined. So already, like from this young age, she is displaying signs of having Munchausen's disease.
Yeah,
Munchausen's is when people want all of the attention on themselves. It's when people, just it's when they need all of the attention to be on them, and they want sympathy. They like the feeling of having people paying attention to them. It is unfortunately a very deadly disease in some cases. People have taken their own lives because of Munchausen's disease, and people have taken the lives of others as a result of Munchausen by proxy.
Case in point. Beverly
Case in point, indeed. Indeed. But I mean, there are other more, what's the word I'm looking for? Famous examples.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a good example of Munchausen by proxy. Another example of Munchausen by proxy is that of oh gosh, what was her name? Dee Dee Blanchard, who kept her daughter Gypsy Rose stuck in a wheelchair for the majority of her life while convincing Gypsy that she was actually a child that she was 15 years old when in reality she was in her 20s, and convinced her that she was mentally retarded and that she had a lot of really bad physical issues and mental issues that would have made it impossible for her to be a functioning adult on her own, which ended up resulting in the death of Dee Dee Blanchard because Gypsy Rose snapped and killed her.
Boy, that was a fun episode.
I'm still gonna say I still don't blame Gypsy for what she did.
No. Sorry, not sorry. She was right.
Absolutely. She was wrong for bringing her boyfriend into it, who actually did have some slight mental retardation issues. From what I remember, he had a IQ of like what, 79?
It was pretty low. I couldn't even guess the exact number, but I do remember it was pretty low.
Yeah, exactly. So, she definitely should have just done it herself, and it would have been self-defense. But she brought someone else into it, and it was, I guess, technically manslaughter.
Yeah, like turned it into like conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly. If she'd just done it herself, everything would have been fine, in my opinion. But, it is what it is, unfortunately. But Gypsy should be getting out soon anyways, like in at least a couple of years.
Hopefully.
I know that she was trying to petition the courts to let her out early, and I'm just like, girl, you got 10 years. Like, just do your 10 years.
That's right. Yeah,
just do totally your 10 years and get it over with. Like, seriously, I'm sure you can be out in like 7 for like good.
Yeah, seriously, like just don't make it any harder than it needs to be. Like, just get through it. Like, you're gonna be fine.
Exactly. You're gonna get out soon enough anyway. Like, I swear to God, Gypsy's getting out in like 6 years or something like that. Like, that's not that bad.
Yeah. Given the circumstances, that's not that bad.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, considering like mailing the fucking knife back to her boyfriend's house and all that shit, like.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Look, I understand the kid had no common sense because how the fuck could she with Dee Dee Blanchard as a mother? But like at the same time, dude.
Just what did you think was going to happen?
She thought they were gonna live happily ever after.
Yeah, I know. Not without some serious therapy, babe. No, ma'am.
I really hope that she's able to get therapy in prison.
Yeah, seriously.
Or like psychiatric help or something. Like they should have just put her in like a mental hospital.
Yeah. Ow.
But that's our thoughts on Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Anyways, so when she was an adolescent, when Beverly was an adolescent, so a teenager, she began to gain weight. She was described as a chubby child when she was younger, and as she got older, she was, described as being heavier set, which made her want attention all the more.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's how it happened to me when I was a fat kid.
No, she became even more attention-seeking, often showing aggression towards others. And she also spent time in hospitals seeking medical attention for a string of physical ailments, which culminated in the removal of her perfectly healthy appendix.
I feel like that's not the first time I've heard of that happening with Munchausen's either.
Where people have things removed for no reason?
Like specifically the appendix. I feel like I've
heard that. The appendix is one of those organs that like it's super, super easy to live without.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even really do anything, I don't think, like except sometimes explode, which can kill you. Basically, people are just living with a ticking time bomb inside of themselves.
I was literally just thinking that exact same sentence.
Yeah. But the appendix surgery ended up being super slow to heal, because Beverly kept fucking around with the incision. Like, I don't know what she was doing to the incision, but like she was fucking around with it somehow.
Just put the cone of shame on her. Jesus Christ.
And like on her hands too, like an extra long one so that her hands can't like reach things. Like, I can't reach it. I can't reach it. Just put like the cone of shame like around her like torso. Like it starts out like under the boobs and just like goes all the way around the back so she can't touch anything below the waist.
But it doesn't go down like a skirt where it could possibly look
No,
it goes up. It goes
up. It goes up like that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh God, that would be so funny.
Stop picking at your face.
But funny.
Stop picking at your face. You're gonna give me Munchausen's.
But I want attention.
No.
Oh God, my face and my eyes are super itchy tonight though. Sorry.
Were you letting the dogs in your room again?
No.
Take some fucking Claritin, damn woman.
You know what? I think I even have fucking Zyrtec and I just forget to take it.
Dude, you need to like make that a part of your daily routine. Take some damn Zyrtec so that you can hang around the dogs. Maybe don't do it right now. I don't know if that's like drowsy medicine. So if you like pass out on camera, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, it's a 24-hour medication. So it's like one you're supposed to take and it's supposed to last all day. So I'm pretty sure it's not drowsy.
Dayquil is supposed to be non-drowsy. And yet I took that at work and passed out on the... So...
Yeah, but Dayquil's what you take when you're sick. Claritin and Zyrtec are what you take for your allergies so you don't get sick or have an allergy issue. So, you know, apples and pears.
Anyways, so she also was known to self-harm and had to resort to doctor hopping, as medical practitioners call it, because they got familiar with her attention-seeking behaviors. Is that the red eyes one, Kate?
Redness and irritation relief.
Yeah, so that actually doesn't have this. It actually has this compound in it that makes your eyes crave it, which is why you're putting so much into your eyes right now. Yeah. A friend of mine's kid used that, and she used, and like her eyes, like she, you know, you're supposed to use it and then you're like good for a while. It was so bad that she kept having to put more and more drops in, and then by like the next morning she had 2 black eyes because it just like it literally sucks out moisture.
What the fuck?
She went to the hospital about it, and the doctor was like, "Oh, were you using like redness relief Visine?" And they were like, "Yeah." And the doctor was like, "Yeah, there's this compound in it that like sucks out, makes you want to use it more, and then it just like fucks your whole shit up."
Huh. Well, that's never happened to me anytime I've used it. So, yeah, probably shouldn't use it anymore then.
No, but you know, I'm sitting here watching you put it into your eyes over and over again. So like,
it's just like it keeps like going directly out of my eye.
Anyways. So what people with Munchausen will do is they will go to the same doctor as often as they can, and they will have more and more reasons that they're supposed to be at the doctor until finally the doctor's just sort of like, "Hey, so there's literally nothing wrong with you. What's going on here? I'm going to write you a prescription for a therapist." And then they freak out and they leave the doctor and never go to that doctor again.
Yeah. Weird how people freak out when you call out their behaviors and try to actually get them helped.
Yeah, I mean, you do that when I call out your behaviors.
That's because
Am I
you
wrong?
attack me personally, and I just don't care for it. And I think that people who will actually listen are the people I should talk to instead.
Yeah, they're called therapists.
No. I'm talking about enablers.
Oh, right. All right. Yeah. So your family. So like your parents.
Oh God, I don't want to hang out with my parents.
Well, they enable you.
Ugh. They are conundrums. But we're not here to talk about my family.
I'm getting more wine. Oh God. I'm trying to get more wine. Shit. Oh, there we go. It's been a minute since I've had to actually use a corkscrew to open up a bottle of wine. Every other wine that I drink is a fucking twist off cap. Anyway, so Allitt's behavior in adolescence appeared, as we have stated already, to be a typical form of Munchausen syndrome. And when this behavior failed to elicit the desired reactions in others, she began to harm others in order to satisfy her desire to be noticed. So here's the thing with Munchausen's, and especially Munchausen's by proxy, people will harm others and then play the victim themselves and just be like, oh my God. Like, it's especially like mothers do it, you know, like moms a lot of the time do that, or like women who marry like sick men.
Yeah.
You know, like if you marry a guy and he gets sick and instead of like being sad about it, you're just like, fucking yes. Like that's an issue.
Yeah. You might have an issue.
Munchausen's by proxy.
Yeah.
So Beverly, after school, went on to train as a nurse and was living in a housing unit with other student nurses, where she began to, and it's never been actually like proven that it was her, but it's fairly it's fairly probable that it was her. Like this bitch started like putting poop everywhere. She literally was just like smearing feces on like the walls and like under the like stove and like in the kitchen and like in the like bathtub. And it got so bad that the head of the house had to be like, okay, I don't know who the fuck is spreading poop everywhere, Beverly, but if this continues, everybody, Beverly, is going to be kicked out of this house.
This literal shit needs to stop.
I'm not naming names, Beverly, but y'all need to stop pooping everywhere.
Please, for the love of God, Beverly, poop in the toilet.
Right, yeah. Question.
Yes.
Right, so what if one was to poop in the toilet, yeah, but then they took it out of the toilet and then put it in the cooker?
Why would you do that, Beverly?
I'm not saying that I did it. I'm just saying
why. I didn't say you did, but why would anyone do that, Beverly?
I didn't though.
Then why would you ask, Beverly?
I was just wondering what would happen if you put poo in the cooker.
It will smell like burnt shit, Beverly.
Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we?
No, we won't, Beverly.
Right, no, we won't. We won't find out.
If at any point in my life I learn what burnt shit smells like while you are here, I'm gonna kick your ass, Beverly.
Right, yeah. All right. Yeah. What if, though, what if there was to poo in the toilet, yeah? But then it was to end up in the washing machine and not in the cooker. That's not in the cooker. It isn't.
How would that happen?
I don't know.
The toilet and the washer are not connected.
But they've both got water in them. So what if it went through the water?
That's not how it works.
You're not a plumber, though.
I know the plumbing of this place, and I know that that's not the direction the water from the toilet goes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So no, just to finish up. Right. No poo in the toilet.
No, that's not correct.
No poo in the cooker?
Correct.
And no poo in the garden.
There should be no poo anywhere other than the toilet.
Right. If you go outside, if you were to go outside right now and find a big pile of poo in the garden, what would happen?
I would shove your nose in it like a fucking dog.
Right.
Did you shit in the fucking yard again?
No.
God damn it, Beverly. I swear to God.
No, it was the dog.
We don't have a dog.
I bought a dog.
Really? What breed is it?
The kind that poos?
All right, so it's like a Chihuahua. So I'll find a Chihuahua-sized shit out in the yard.
Yeah, those are the ones that are about human size, right?
No.
I got one of them.
Very small.
No, I got one of them. I got one of those ones.
Is it here right now, dressed as a human?
Yes.
Really? Because everyone in this room. Oh my God.
What?
William just texted me. He said shits are spaniel. Oh my God.
So
this conversation about shit has gone on for far too long.
I think we'll probably swing back around to it at some point. So Beverly didn't get kicked out of the house, unfortunately. How? I don't know. We've got a good comment here from Thea, though. Thea says, it wasn't me. Well, it was fucking one of you. That's disgusting.
Oh, man. I had to read, like, that came up at work today. I managed to throw that one out, and I don't remember why, but, oh, God, it was funny. Which
disgusting.
One of you doesn't know how to flush the toilet after you take a shit?
Well, it wasn't me.
Disgusting.
So, literally just smearing shit everywhere at this fucking home that she was in, right? But she continued on with her nursing training, and eventually, they noticed that her absentee level was also exceptionally high, which was the result of a string of illnesses. So, there's probably going to be nurses that are like leaving for school and they're like, oh, Beverly, do you need a ride? Jimmy's got his car outside. We're going to get a ride to school. You going to come with us?
No, I can't. I'm sick.
You're sick again. You were sick last week.
I'm sick all the time, okay? I have a weak immune system.
Right, Beverly. The thing is, right, you're training to be a nurse, right?
Yeah, do you want me to be learning how to nurse while I'm sick?
I don't think you should be being a nurse if you've got a weak immune system, Beverly.
But then how am I supposed to...
No, Beverly, what if they have you working in the ICU? Nobody's got immune systems there. What if you're there spreading mono?
How am I supposed to help people if I don't become a nurse?
You could help them by staying away from them.
Then what am I supposed to do?
Work at a pub?
No one's going to know me at a pub.
Actually, funny story, she did work at a pub.
Really?
Yeah, it was called the Fighting Cocks.
Nah. Cocks.
Yeah.
Slit.
No, she worked at a pub while she was going through school, and she met several boyfriends working at the pub. And one boyfriend at the time said that she was an aggressive, manipulative, and deceptive woman who claimed false pregnancy and as well as rape before the end of the relationship.
Oof.
You know who she kind of reminds me of just a little bit?
Huh.
Catherine Knight. Australian female serial killer.
That's like all I remember about her. I remember that.
She started a lot of fights with men. What?
I just remember that she was Australian and that Ken was her dad.
Yeah, right. Well, no, she started a lot of fights with, like, she would, like, beat up her boyfriends and stuff, remember?
Oh, yeah, she would date, like, all, like, small guys that she could absolutely, like, kick their asses, and they were, like, super, like, submissive men.
Except for the last one.
Yeah.
And that is why he died.
Yeah, okay. Vague recollection.
Anyway, she kind of reminds me of Catherine Knight, that's all. But despite the history of poor attendance and her successive failure of her nursing exams, she was taken on as a temporary 6-month contract at the chronically understaffed Grantham and Kesteven. God, English names sometimes are just really difficult.
Yeah, right.
Because, like, it should be pronounced one way, but it's England, so it's not.
Yeah, it's like I see that and my first thought is Kesteven, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not that.
Kesteven.
Stephen with a PH. Stephen.
Stephen. Stephen. Stephen. No, it's like how in England they pronounce aluminium.
I'm pretty sure that's our fault. Like, it's supposed to be pronounced that way, and we just took out a letter.
Anyways, I mean, but like, it's just one of those things. Like, a lot of words should be pronounced a certain way, but it's America, so we don't.
Yeah.
Like how 90% of Americans don't say supposedly, they say supposably.
It's like, I'll say that sometimes as a joke, but I'll say it, like, super exaggerated so that, like, that I know it's wrong. Like, I'll be like, yeah, supposedly. Like, make sure you really hear that I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah. It's supposedly.
Mm-hmm. Like, should of.
See, and I understand why that's happening with should've. It's because to say should've, but are saying it like it's two words, but should've is a
Contraction.
Thank you. It's a contraction of should and have.
Yeah, so like even if you are saying should've like it's two words, you should be saying should have. Just
Oh, that's good. Nice. Anyway, yeah. So, she began working at the chronically understaffed Grantham and Kesteven Hospital in Lincolnshire in 1991, where she began to work in the children's ward, because that seems like a great idea. Oh, I've got a great idea. Let's hire some new nurses because we're super understaffed, right? Well, let's see. That one's passed. That one's passed. That one's passed. We'll hire all them, and we'll put them in the we'll put them in the ICU. Let's see. Where else do we need nurses, nurse?
Oh, and I know the kids, the children's ward sure could use an extra set of hands here and there.
Right. All right. Let's see if we got left. Well, we've just got this Beverly lass, and she hasn't passed any of her nursing exams, but I'm sure you could use her for about 6 months. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, did she go to all her classes at least?
It says here that she was sick quite a bit. She probably just had mono. It's about that age for mono.
Yeah, I mean, if she was sick a lot, I mean, she knows all about like the type of care that you need when you're sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Let's put her with the children. It'll be great.
Yeah, she could take care of some sick kids. That's fine.
For those of you that are wondering why our accents have gone from English to like Irish and Scottish, that is because the UK is a mess. And
we're in the north.
Actually, Lincolnshire is like dead in the middle.
We're in the north middle.
It's kind of close to Nottingham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's funny. My dad, like literally, like right before we started, my dad started watching a show that takes place in Lincolnshire.
Oh, that's super weird.
Right?
How random. You didn't even know what we were covering today until an hour ago.
Nope. Not a goddamn clue. William,
what?
William just texted me again. He said, Nairth.
Nairth.
We're in the Nairth.
We're in the Nairth.
Lots of planets have a north.
A Nairth.
Lots of planets have a Nairth.
Anyways, so she begins working at the children's hospital, and there were only 2 trained nurses on the day shift and 1 for nights when she started, which might explain how her violent, attention-seeking behavior went as undetected as it did for as long as it did. However, on February 21st, 1991, her first victim, 7-month-old Liam Taylor, was admitted to the children's ward with a chest infection. Beverly Allitt went out of her way to reassure the parents that he was in capable hands and persuaded them to go home and get some rest. I'm sorry, if it's me, I'm not going to be fucking leaving my 7-month-old child with anybody alone. Like,
yeah,
seriously, get like molested. No.
Yeah, like honestly, like I don't care how much you reassure me. Like a 7-month-old, that is an age where nothing except a familiar face is going to provide like any semblance of comfort and soothing. So yeah, no, I'm not leaving my 7-month-old with a chest infection alone for the night.
Fuck no. But again, this is the 90s. Like, this is the early 90s. It's practically still the 80s.
Practically, yeah.
Yeah. So, when they returned, Allitt told them that Liam had suffered a respiratory emergency, but that he had recovered. She volunteered for extra night duty so that she could watch over them. His parents chose to spend the night at the hospital as well. However, Liam had another respiratory crisis just before midnight, but it was felt that he'd come through it satisfactorily. Allitt was left alone with the boy, however, and his condition worsened dramatically, becoming deathly pale before red blotches appeared on his face, at which Allitt summoned an emergency resurrection. Oh my God, why can't I word right now?
Resuscitation.
Resuscitation, thank you. I've watched so many fucking documentaries about this lady today, and I wrote all of this, and now I can't fucking say any of it. So good job, Dakota.
That's the part you didn't practice. You didn't do that part. You listened and you wrote, but you didn't speak.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, so Allitt's nursing colleagues were confused by the absence of alarm monitors at the time, which had failed to sound when he stopped breathing. Liam suffered cardiac arrest, and despite the best efforts of the attending team, suffered severe brain damage, remaining alive only with the help of life support machines. On medical advice, his parents made the agonizing decision to remove their baby from life support, and his cause of death was recorded as heart failure. Allitt was never questioned about her role in Liam's death. He was 7 months old. If that baby had any heart issues, they would have found out by then. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, I have a friend who's, God, he's 10 years old now, and he was born with a heart condition. Like, they knew when he was born that he had a heart condition.
Right.
Like, they would have been no.
Yeah, but unfortunately, only 2 weeks after the baby's death came her next victim, Timothy Hardwick, who was an 11-year-old with cerebral palsy who was admitted following an epileptic fit on March 5th, 1991. Allitt took over his care, and again, following a period where she was alone with the boy, she summoned the emergency response team, who found him without a pulse and turning blue. Despite their best efforts, the team, which included a pediatric specialist, were unable to revive him. And an autopsy later failed to provide an obvious cause of death, although his epilepsy was officially blamed.
Ugh.
Dude, stop doing coke before the show starts. I've already talked to you about this.
I'm sorry. I just gotta stay awake, you know? That's an effective cocaine, right?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, I don't know. I know a lot of people who do coke and they like sleep pretty easily, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't do coke.
Drugs.
It's not my thing. Anyways, so her third victim was 1-year-old Kaylee Desmond, who was admitted on March 3rd, 1991, with another chest infection from which she seemed to be recovering well. However, 5 days later, with Allitt in attendance, Kaylee went into cardiac arrest in the same bed where Liam Taylor had died a fortnight before. Sorry, that's wrong. It wasn't a fortnight. Was it? February to March. Oh yeah, it was a fortnight. Yeah, I was right. Anyways, I feel like at that point, you would think that doctors would start to get suspicious, or nurses or anything, but I think really the only thing that they were suspicious of at that point was just that the bed was bad luck. Like, it has to be.
That was literally what I was thinking. Like, just like, oh, geez, we shouldn't put kids in this bed anymore.
Well, this bed is in the children's wing. Why are we supposed to put the children?
Well, we can still put the children in the children's wing. We just can't put them in this bed.
Should we move the bed?
maybe we should remove the bed altogether.
Right. And then?
That's it.
Right. Oh, you know where I could take it? The orphanage is looking for furniture.
Sure. Yeah, let's give them a haunted bed. We don't need it anymore.
Yeah, that works. All right, I'll take a haunted bed to the orphanage. So, the team. Oh shit! I hit a button and went to a different page. Sorry about that. Give me one. All right, Kaylee, we're on. So the team actually was able to revive her this time from her cardiac arrest, because I'm pretty sure all of them were practicing reviving children at this point, because they're just like, we don't know why all these children keep dying, so we're just going to keep practicing so that they stop.
Just no more dead children. No more.
This is a terrible trend that these children have got to stop dying.
Ugh, these kids, and they're dying these days.
I swear to God, it's like Heathers, where everybody thought that they had like a suicide pact, and it was, or like that all the kids were just like committing suicide, you know? Ugh. But anyways, so they were able to revive her, and she was transferred to another hospital in Nottingham, where the attending physicians discovered an odd puncture hole under her armpit during a thorough examination. They also discovered an air bubble near the puncture mark, which they attributed to an accidental injection, but no investigation was ever initiated.
Yes.
Excuse me, doctor?
Yeah.
We were doing an investigation of that little Kaylee girl that came in, right?
Yeah.
Right. Under her armpit, we discovered a puncture mark.
A puncture?
Yeah. And there was also an air bubble.
Oh shit, that sucks.
Yeah. So, it looks like maybe somebody's trying to kill this child, we think. Like me and some of the nurses, but unfortunately we can't put that on the forms unless you think. I mean, it's not like it was like an accidental injection or something. And we lost Kate.
Somebody was calling me.
What?
Somebody was calling me. One of my coworkers was just trying to call me.
Maybe put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
It is.
Are you sure? Because somebody was calling you, and that shouldn't be able to happen while you're on Do Not Disturb.
I'm positive. I always have it on Do Not Disturb during the show.
All right. Well,
I guess it's broken.
Anyway.
I don't know. Sorry about that.
Saying that a lot during this episode.
Sorry about that.
Anyways, long story short, the doctor, they basically just thought that it was an accidental injection. Although what the fuck they were trying to inject near this kid's armpit, I have no idea. But here's the really twisted thing about this story, right? Or was it Kaylee, or was it no, it's not Kaylee yet. It's coming up though. So her next, or Kate, yeah. So her next victim would be 5-month-old Paul Crampton, who was placed on the ward on March 20th, 1991, as a result of a non-serious bronchial infection. Just prior to his discharge, Allitt, who was again attending to the patient by herself, summoned help as Paul appeared to be suffering from insulin shock, going into a near coma on 3 separate occasions. Each time, the doctors revived him, but were unable to explain the fluctuation in his insulin levels. When he was taken by ambulance to another hospital in Nottingham, however, Allitt rode with him, and he was found to have had far too much insulin.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a baby. There should not be that much insulin in a baby.
Yeah, that's that's bad. That's the bad.
The next day, 5-year-old Bradley Gibson, who was suffering from pneumonia, went into an unexpected cardiac arrest, but was saved by the team. And subsequent blood tests showed that his insulin was high, which made no sense to the attending physicians. And attendance by Allitt resulted in another heart attack later that night, and he was transported to Nottingham, where he recovered. Despite this alarming increase in the incidences of unexplained health events, all in the presence of Allitt, no suspicions were aroused at this time as she continued her spree of violence unchecked. On March 22nd, 1991, 2-year-old victim Yi-Kyung Chan turned blue and appeared in a considerable distress when Allitt raised the alarm, but he responded well to oxygen. Another attack resulted in his transfer to the larger hospital in Nottingham again, and his symptoms were attributed to a fractured skull, which was the result of a fall. To which I imagine she literally just like picked up the baby and was just like, oops.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy enough to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy if you're a monster. Like, fuck. You hold a baby.
I just mean like I don't
dropping on the ground. Like, fuck.
I don't mean like it would be like easy like as an overall thing to do, but just like as a physical task, dropping a baby would not be difficult to drop a baby.
That's true. That's true. I dropped a dog the other day and I felt the rest of the day.
Oh.
He was fine.
Poor baby.
I was like bending down to put him down and he just kind of like fell. And I was just like, what are you doing?
Have you seen that one comic that somebody just wants to put dog on ground, lets dog go, remembers dog is not cat?
It wasn't even like that. I tried to put him on his feet and he just kind of went, meh. I was just like, what? Why? Why?
Mango will do that sometimes, but worse. Like, I'll try to like set him down, but he'll flail too much, and then he'll fall out of my arms and then land on his back because he's an idiot.
Yeah, that sounds like Mango. So there we have it. Cats do not always land on their feet.
Nope, not if you're Mango.
No.
Orange cats are the exception.
Yeah. So Allitt next turned her attentions to twins Katie and Becky Phillips, who were just 2 months old, who were kept for observation as a result of their premature delivery. A bout of gastroenteritis brought Becky into the ward on the 1st of April, 1991, when Allitt took over her care. 2 days later, Allitt raised the alarm, claiming Becky appeared to be hypoglycemic and cold to the touch, but no ailment was found. Baby Becky was sent home with her mother. During the night, she went into convulsions and cried out in apparent pain. When summoned, a doctor suggested that she had colic. The parents kept her in their bed for observation, and she died during the night. During the autopsy, pathologists could find no clear cause of death. Becky's surviving twin, Katie.
Question.
What?
Do you know what colic is? Because I don't.
Yeah, colic is it's like when babies basically are like super gassy and stuff, and they just can't like get the gas out of their system. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like if you ever hear that a baby's like colicky, it's basically like gas sometimes in their intestines or something.
Okay. And it's pressure and it's ouchy.
Yeah, exactly. And babies can't explain that it's ouchy, so they cry.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like that. So yeah, they say that the best way to hold a colicky baby is if you hold them while they're like on their stomach, and like you can hold them and then their body's here, and you just like hold them like laying down. So they're
like a sloth on a branch.
And you just like have the baby's head like right here, and then like their body is like right here, and they're just like their arms are like on either side of your arm, and like their legs are too. And they say that that's like one of the best ways to hold a colicky baby because it actually lets them get some rest. And like colicky babies, I feel so bad for those babies.
Like I've heard that that's just like a good way to hold babies in general. Like just like there's something about it that's comforting or like just like relaxing for them. So like if they're like if you got like a young baby and they're throwing a fit or they're cranky or like whatever, like you can hold them like that and then just like give them like not like a shake, but like kind of like a bounce and they'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is a good way, but like I was but I've heard it's particularly. Hello.
Hello?
Sorry, the thing just glitched.
Oh yeah, it's getting bad on my end again.
Okay, that's weird.
But I'm not sure if it's on my end or not. So, I mean,
You know
anybody else noticing if one of us is glitching more or at all? Let us know.
No. Yeah, just blacked out on me for a second. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna go on to I this is the one time I don't have it open on my phone just because I was trying to let my phone charge. But I'm gonna go look and see what it looks like on Facebook.
And it keeps doing that for me occasionally. Like, it just occasionally like one of us will like black out for like a second. It's just kind of like boop, boop.
Yeah, it just did it again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what end it's on, but this is weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so let's just try to get through it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Yeah, and by next week But anyways, Becky's surviving twin Katie was admitted to the hospital as a precaution, and unfortunately team to revive baby Katie, who stopped breathing. In her lungs. Following another revival effort, she was transferred to Nottingham, where it was found that 5 of her ribs had been broken, in addition to having suffered serious brain damage as a result of her oxygen deprivation. This poor kid. And like, here's the really fucked up part. Her parents were so grateful for Beverly Allitt saving her baby's life that she asked her to be Katie's godmother.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ow.
So Allitt accepted willing. What's going on?
Sorry, I just got like a cramp in my thigh. And it just came like totally out of nowhere. It was just like a shooting cramp.
Mm.
All right, we're good. Sorry.
All right. But Allitt accepted willingly, despite having inflicted partial paralysis, cerebral hearing damage on the infant. 4 more victims followed, but the high incidence of unexplained attacks and otherwise healthy patients and Allitt's attendance during these attacks finally caused suspicion to be raised at the hospital. Allitt's violent spree was finally brought to an end with the death of 15-month-old Claire Peck on April 22nd, 1991, an asthmatic who required a breathing tube. While in Allitt's care for only a few minutes, the infant suffered a heart attack, and the team revived her successfully, but when alone again in Allitt's presence, baby Claire suffered a second attack from which she could not be revived. And although
Oh, it's broken again.
What is?
You like completely froze.
Am I still frozen?
No.
What did you hear last?
Although an autopsy.
Right. Okay. So although an autopsy and Claire had died from natural causes, an inquiry was initiated by a consultant alarmed by the high number of cardiac arrests over the previous 2 months in the children's ward. An airborne virus was found, and a test revealed that a high level of potassium in baby Claire's blood resulted in the police being summoned 18 days. Her exhumation discovered traces of what?
Lignocaine?
Lidocaine, I think. Every time I see this word, I want to say lidocaine, but I know it's not lidocaine. Like, it's not lidocaine. Damn, me. But it's lignocaine, which is a drug that is used during cardiac arrest, but never given to a baby. The police superintendent assigned to the investigation, Stuart Clifton, suspected foul play, and he examined the other suspicious cases that had occurred in the previous 2 months, finding an inordinately high doses of insulin in most. Further evidence revealed that Allitt had reported the key missing to the insulin refrigerator, and all records were checked. Parents of the victims were interviewed, and a security camera was installed. Suspicions were raised again when record checks revealed missing daily nursing logs, which corresponded to the time period which Paul Crampton had been in the ward. When 25 separate suspicious episodes with 13 victims were identified, 4 of whom were dead, the only common factor was the presence of Beverly Allitt in every episode. By the 26th of July, 1991, police felt that they had had sufficient evidence to charge Allitt with murder, but it wasn't until November 1991 that she was formally charged. Allitt showed calm under interrogation, denying any part in the attacks, insisting that she had been merely caring for the victims. A search of her home revealed of the missing nursing log. Further extensive background checks by the police initiated a pattern of behavior that pointed to a very serious personality, and Allitt exhibited symptoms of both Munchausen syndrome and Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which are both characterized as either self-induced or feigned in oneself in order to gain attention, where Munchausen by proxy involves inflicting injury on others to gain attention for oneself. It is fairly unusual for an individual to present with both conditions. It's not that unusual for the 2 conditions to be a part of the same person, because Munchausen syndrome will sometimes evolve into Munchausen by proxy when they're not getting enough attention for themselves. It's like how Dee Dee Blanchard would always say that she was like a victim of all this stuff that happened to her before she even had Gypsy Rose.
Right.
Yeah.
Ow.
Kelly says, we're back. Welcome back, Kel.
Welcome back.
Now, as, sorry. Despite visits and assessments by a number of healthcare professionals while in prison, Allitt refused to confess what she had done. And after a series of hearings with 4 counts of murder, 11 counts of attempted murder, and 11 counts of causing grievous bodily harm. As she awaited her trial, she rapidly lost weight and anorexia, a further indication of her psychological problems. After numerous delays due to her illness, as a result, she had lost 70 pounds. She went on trial at Nottingham Crown Court on February 15, 1993, where prosecutors demonstrated to the jury how she this episode and the lack of episodes when she was taken off the ward. Evidence about high readings of insulin and potassium in each victim's, as well as drug injections and puncture marks, were also linked to Allitt. She was further accused of cutting her victim's oxygen, either by smothering or by tampering with machines. Her unusual behavior in childhood was brought to light, and pediatric expert Professor Roy Meadow explained Munchausen syndrome and Munchausen's by proxy syndrome to the jury, pointing out how Allitt demonstrated symptoms of both, as well as introducing evidence of her typical post-arrest behavior and high incidences of illnesses which had delayed the start of her trial. It was Professor Meadows' opinion that Beverly Allitt would never be cured, making her a clear danger to anyone with whom she may come in contact with. After the trial that lasted nearly 2 months, and at which Allitt attended only 16 days due to continued illness, Allitt was convicted on the 23rd of May, 19 and given 13 life sentences for murder and attempted murder. It was the harshest sentence ever delivered to a female, but according to Mr. Justice Latham, it was commensurate with the horrific sufferings of the victims, their families, and everyone that she had brought. Just absolutely.
Excuse me.
Hello? Good?
Yep.
Only one ring. Does that mean that it was a spam call?
Most likely.
Why the fuck are they spamming at like 8:30 at night?
I don't know. They're not very good spammers.
Apparently. Damn. So the impact of Allitt's case had on the Grantham and Kate, I almost said Keith Stephen. Stephen. The Grantham Hospital was so severe that the maternity unit was closed down altogether. Damn. God, imagine that being your fucking legacy. Oh, I'm so fucked up that an entire hospital shut down their maternity ward. Yeah. That was me.
Weird flex, but okay.
Right? Seriously. Ken said he was creeper calling you.
Yeah. No, thank you. I have phone anxiety.
Rather than going to prison, however, Allitt was incarcerated at Rampton Secure Hospital in Nottingham, a high-security facility housing mainly individuals detained under the Mental Health Act. As an inmate in Rampton, she began her attention-seeking behavior again, ingesting ground glass and pouring boiling water on her hands. She is subsequently admitted to 3 of the murders of which she was charged, as well as 6 of the assaults, and the appalling nature of her crimes has placed her on the Home Office list of criminals who will never be eligible for parole. There have been accusations, most notably by Chris Taylor, father of Allitt's first victim, Liam, that Rampton is more like a holiday camp than a prison. The facility, which has some 1,400 staff to deal with around 400 inmates, costs taxpayers around $3,000 per week, per inmate to administer. And in 2001, there were reports that she was to marry fellow inmate Mark Heggie, although she is currently still single. Most recently, she was the subject of a Mirror newspaper inquiry in May 2005 when it was revealed that she reached over $40,000 in states benefits since her incarceration in 1993. In 2006, Allitt applied for a review of her sentence, which led to the probation service to contact the victims' families about the process, and Allitt remains in Rampton. And that is the story of Beverly Allitt.
Munchausen's is rough, dude.
Munchausen's is so rough. Oh, and yeah, there's Harry in the background, as always. Harry. Hey.
He's just like, what?
Oh, he's just pouting because I took his collar off of him because it was jingling so loud throughout the episode. I was just like, come here, I'm taking this off.
He's just like, pouting. I didn't want to be naked.
Yeah, he's pouting because he's naked right now. Come on, Harry. Are you pouting? Yeah. You pouting? He's pouting.
Got it. Being naked is great. Don't be so ungrateful.
Yeah. You can do it. So he's gonna jump. You can do it, Harry. You can do it. Do it. Do your little jump. Nope. All right. Jump down instead. There's a corner on the couch, and he's been like jumping back and forth on that for a while.
What a goob.
You're the babies. Wait. What? He's just being silly now. Oh. Come here.
Oh.
This way he won't.
Oh, little baby.
This all he want. Forever.
Some lady came into my store today with a dog about like 2/3 his size, but like looked almost identical to him.
Oh my god, that's so funny. When I was walking in my car,
him around the whole time.
When I was walking in my car last night, some girl in Hollywood she literally stopped in the middle of the street to roll down her window and scream, "Oh my god, your dog is so cute! He's the most precious thing I've ever seen!" I was, thanks. Also, ma'am, you should be obeying traffic laws. Just saying. But yeah, anyway, that is the story of Beverly Allitt, an angel of death, I guess. But really, she's a perpetrator, but she's also kind of a victim in a way. She's a victim of Munchausen's and Munchausen's by proxy, but she's also fucking crazy, and
She's a victim of that, but she created more victims of it in her wake.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a clear-cut case of nice motive, still murder.
Is it, though? Is Munchausen's really a good motive?
Mental illness?
I don't know. It's tricky with Munchausen's.
It is tricky with Munchausen's. I agree. It really is. Because Munchausen's is it's tough. It really is tough with this one because it's like, I understand that it is a mental health disorder, but also
it is very legitimately a danger to oneself and others. Like,
yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And that's why she's not allowed to go on parole. Because if she ever did go on parole, that she would just be back to fucking killing people.
Yeah, it would happen in a second.
Yeah, like, she'd there'd be some nice person that's just like, oh, of course, like, we have to show that, like, people are reformed, and we have to, like, show that we can trust people who have mental illness. So of course you can babysit my child.
Yeah.
And then you know what's gonna happen? That baby's gonna be dead.
Yeah.
dead baby.
But purely hypothetical, since she's not eligible for parole, so that's
Right.
not going to happen. At least not from her.
Thank goodness.
And that's
However,
what we call a win.
If you suspect that you or someone you know has Munchausen's by proxy or Munchausen's, I suggest you contact a therapist. May I suggest Dr. Phil? I'm kidding.
No.
He's actually covered Munchausen's. It's interesting.
It was funny though, like just like the way that you were saying that, I like half expected you to be like, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
You may be entitled to financial compensation. Contact the lawyers of Don't Kill Babies and oh my God, put down the needle right now.
Oh God.
So anyways, that is tonight's episode. If you enjoyed our show, feel free to let us know. Throw us a couple bucks if you feel like it right here down at the bottom. You can throw me a few dollars on Venmo at Dakota's Beard. You can throw Kate a few bucks on Venmo at Kate Ulrich 42, or you can support the show all together at patreon.com/Dakota's Beard. And on Patreon, we have just uploaded part 2 of, I can't believe I have to say the name of it. It is part 2 of it's a part of our cryptid erotica series on Patreon, where you can watch Kate and I slowly lose our souls as we read more and more Loch Ness Monster erotica.
I feel like with that one, it wasn't slow. Like, our souls yeeted the fuck out of that one.
Yeah, but do you remember all the Rita Moreno jokes in part 2?
Oh my God. Oh, fuck. That was so funny. Oh. It was so cursed and so fantastic. Just.
Kate.
Ugh.
Hi.
Oh, save it for Patreon. Oh.
Find all of that on our Patreon. Ow. On our Patreon. Ow.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. I clapped my hand wrong and I smacked a nerve.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That wasn't fun. Anyways, so yeah, check it all out on Patreon, patreon.com/Dakota's Beard. Ken says, yay, cryptid erotica, worth the price of admission. The price of admission to all of the cryptid erotica is only $5 a month on Patreon. We have a $1 a month subscription. Unfortunately, that just entitles you to our love and appreciation, in which
unfortunately,
fortunately, you get our love and appreciation, but unfortunately, you don't get to watch Kate literally try to die on camera from cryptid stuff.
Yeah, I did expect my body to just kind of give up at one point and just kind of poof out of here. But
I was watching the video again when I posted it on Tuesday, and I was sending Kate clips of it, and Kate was just like, oh God, oh no, why?
I had blocked it from my memory, and she forced it all back.
Because and keep an eye out for Sunday, because Sunday we are going to be bringing in, I am going to be bringing in our new Sunday co-host. Since Kate has a job that doesn't allow her to take Sundays off, we have a new co-host coming in starting this Sunday.
Yay.
And Kelly said, that's why I do $25 a month. So I get all the content. That's right, Kel. You get all the content. And Kate and I are going to be having a meeting coming up soon where we are going to be laying out the best ways to be filming new content. I'm really looking forward to talking about that and to be getting even more content for Patreon. But we do have a new host that'll be joining us starting this Sunday. It's going to be really exciting. I'm really excited to bring her on. And this Sunday, we are going to be talking about the Craigslist killer. So keep an eye out. This is going to be a really interesting episode. And until then, say goodnight, Kate.
Good night, Kate.
Good night. And no munch-outs. Don't do that.
Good night, and don't kill babies. God.
Yeah, don't kill babies. Don't do that. Don't kill babies. No.